Welcome to the Investigative Training Institute.
Welcome, and thank you for choosing to explore the real world of professional private investigations and protection services. My name is John Frycek, and I will be your chief instructor during this course, as well as other dynamic instructors that train you in this very unique field. I have worked in the private investigation and security profession for more than 35 years. During that time, I have seen, heard, experienced, and handled situations that most people will never encounter. Yet, even after all these years, I continue learning every day. I have never allowed my mind or my career to remain parked in neutral. The pursuit of knowledge never ends in this profession. Entering the investigative field requires an inquiring mind, ambition, fortitude, aptitude, patience, and perseverance. These qualities form the foundation of your development as an investigator. They will also shape how you approach people, assignments, adversity, and life itself. Many people imagine a private detective as a former police officer who carries a gun, enforces the law, and constantly becomes involved in dramatic, swashbuckling situations. That image largely comes from television and motion pictures. The actual profession is considerably different. Private investigation is not built entirely around car chases, gunfights, dramatic confrontations, or sensational cases. It is a serious and disciplined profession centered on information, observation, human behavior, analysis, evidence, confidentiality, and the search for truth. This profession is intended for people with curiosity, an open mind, and a genuine desire to distinguish fact from fiction. A good investigator cannot be excessively skeptical, narrow-minded, or committed to only one side of a situation. You must remain open to information while carefully evaluating the credibility of every source. Your responsibility is not to force the evidence to support a preferred conclusion. Your responsibility is to allow the evidence to lead you toward the truth. One of the most important qualities an investigator can possess is what I call universal adaptive behavior. Universal adaptive behavior is the ability to adjust intelligently and professionally to different people, personalities, environments, cultures, and circumstances. It is one of the intrinsic qualities that separates an average investigator from an exceptional one. A professional investigator must remain impartial while simultaneously multitasking. You must learn to read people, situations, environments, body language, and patterns of conduct. You must study not only what human beings do, but also why they may be doing it. This does not mean viewing every person or circumstance negatively. Investigators must also recognize positive intentions, honest explanations, and innocent behavior. Not everything unusual is criminal, deceptive, or improper. Universal adaptive behavior also means remaining strong within yourself. You cannot allow commercialism, sensationalism, political rhetoric, social pressure, or the opinions of others to control your judgment. People may attempt to influence your personal beliefs, political opinions, business decisions, family relationships, or professional conclusions. You must not allow those influences to interfere with your objectivity. You must wear truth as your armor. Be comfortable with who you are, understand the difference between right and wrong, maintain strong ethics and morals, and follow the professional codes of conduct that govern our industry. A good investigator must be capable of adjusting personality, body language, communication style, clothing, and behavior to fit the environment. In that respect, an investigator sometimes needs the adaptive qualities of a good actor. You must be able to communicate with individuals from different backgrounds, cultures, religions, professions, economic circumstances, and personality types. You may need to speak with a corporate executive in the morning, interview a reluctant witness in the afternoon, and conduct surveillance from a vehicle late that evening. Each situation requires a different approach. Patience is another essential virtue. Strong observational skills require the ability to remain focused for extended periods without immediate gratification. If you cannot sit still, require constant excitement, or expect every assignment to produce immediate results, this profession may not be right for you. If you are overly sensitive, excessively judgmental, or unable to work with many different personalities, you may also have difficulty adapting to this career. Private investigation is somewhat like patting your head and rubbing your stomach at the same time. It requires mental and physical coordination, multitasking, awareness, and the ability to think on your feet. You may need to visually, physically, and emotionally absorb an environment while making a responsible judgment about what is actually occurring. You cannot simply form an opinion based on unproven theories or personal feelings. This is why investigators rely upon both inductive and deductive reasoning. You must gather individual facts, recognize meaningful patterns, test possible explanations, and determine which conclusion is most strongly supported by the evidence. A theory is not a fact, and suspicion is not proof. The duality of good and evil has existed since the beginning of human society. Life contains honesty and deception, kindness and cruelty, discipline and temptation. Human beings naturally seek pleasure and attempt to avoid pain. When people believe they cannot obtain what they want through legitimate means, some may resort to destructive or deceptive conduct. This can include domestic infidelity, theft, burglary, fraud, organized criminal activity, workplace conspiracies, and many other forms of misconduct. Society attempts to control harmful behavior through laws, ethical standards, and accepted codes of conduct. We have police departments, fire departments, courts, taxation systems, licensing authorities, and government regulations intended to maintain stability and protect the public. However, people sometimes break bad, so to speak. They violate the standards that allow society to function. This is where investigators may be called upon to uncover facts, document conduct, protect legal interests, or obtain evidence. Although people frequently compare police officers and private investigators, their responsibilities and authority are different. A police officer works on behalf of the public. Police officers are sworn to uphold the law, protect the community, investigate criminal conduct, and exercise powers granted to them by government, including the authority to make arrests when legally justified. A private investigator does not generally possess the same jurisdictional authority or police powers. Private investigators ordinarily work on behalf of individual clients, attorneys, businesses, insurance companies, corporations, and other lawful interests. Our role is to separate fact from fiction, gather information, document conduct, locate evidence, interview witnesses, and present our findings in a professional manner. The evidence obtained by a private investigator may later be provided to attorneys, law enforcement agencies, courts, administrative bodies, or other authorized decision makers. We will examine these distinctions more closely throughout the upcoming lessons. You must also understand that this profession will test your comfort level. What makes private investigation so unique is that no two assignments are ever exactly the same. You may conduct a background investigation, mobile surveillance, a skip trace investigation, a criminal defense investigation, a workplace theft inquiry, or an interview with someone who witnessed an accident. Every person, location, and scenario presents different circumstances. Your adaptability, judgment, experience, and thirst for knowledge must continuously come into play. After more than 35 years in this profession, I can honestly say that I am still learning. My mind remains open to new ideas, professional dialogue, improved technology, investigative theories, and knowledge shared by other experienced professionals. As an investigator, you must develop strong observational skills, street knowledge, and an understanding of human behavior. You must learn to connect separate elements of information and bring them together to form an objective, supportable conclusion. Surveillance provides a perfect example of how your comfort level may be tested. You might sit inside a surveillance vehicle for hours. It may be extremely hot or bitterly cold. You may be hungry, tired, uncomfortable, or in need of a restroom. You could spend most of the day watching a doorway, parking lot, residence, office building, or parked vehicle while waiting for a subject to appear. When that subject finally moves, you must be immediately prepared to begin a lawful mobile surveillance operation. This requires patience, preparation, concentration, and perseverance. You must remain ready to soldier on without allowing discomfort or frustration to destroy the assignment. Your personal schedule may also be affected. Many people are accustomed to working from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, with predictable evenings, weekends, and holidays. Private investigations rarely follow such a convenient schedule. You may work early mornings, late nights, weekends, or holidays. Plans sometimes change without warning. A surveillance subject does not arrange his activities around your dinner reservations, sporting events, or family plans. You can certainly maintain personal relationships and enjoy time with your family, but the people closest to you should understand the unpredictable nature of your profession. Developing a career in this field takes time, effort, patience, true grit, and quite a bit of sweat. Investigators are often the unsung heroes behind the evidence. You may sit clandestinely inside a vehicle or room, repeatedly and discreetly observing a person's conduct. Later, photographs and video evidence may reveal that the subject engaged in dishonest, unethical, immoral, or illegal activity. However, very few people will ever know who obtained that evidence or what you endured to capture it. You may not receive public recognition or praise for your work. That is why you must possess self-respect, personal discipline, and a clear understanding of your own purpose. You must know in your heart that your professional skills can make a difference. Your work may help a spouse learn the truth about a marriage. It may protect a business losing substantial money through theft or collusion. You could help locate a missing loved one or provide a concerned parent with lawful information about a teenager suspected of drug or alcohol abuse. You may also perform protective assignments, including bodyguard or executive protection services. An investigator might become involved in a theft investigation or controlled operation concerning stolen construction equipment. You could conduct nighttime surveillance with specialized optical equipment while attempting to identify a vehicle, obtain a license plate, or document the people responsible for removing valuable machinery. Private investigation involves far more than matrimonial cases and allegations of infidelity. Throughout this course, you will learn about the many specialties, methodologies, working patterns, and responsibilities within the profession. Communication and listening skills are critically important. You must be capable of understanding information quickly, but you should never treat a biased opinion as an established fact. You cannot approach a person or situation with prejudice. You must remain professionally neutral and learn to manage the negativity that people, places, and circumstances may bring into your life. This profession will test you psychologically and physically. You may become fatigued, emotionally strained, or mentally stressed. You must learn how to decompress, adapt, and release negative energy in a constructive manner. Do not carry every case home in your mind. Learn to compartmentalize your professional responsibilities, personal relationships, values, and emotions. Imagine placing each part of your life into its own secured locker. Keep those areas organized and do not allow them to collide unnecessarily. Never prejudge a person, exaggerate a situation, or dismiss information simply because it conflicts with your original theory. Develop reasonable hypotheses, analyze the available information, and continue searching for verifiable truth. Remember that your work can change the course of someone's personal or professional life. Your words, reports, photographs, recordings, and conclusions can have serious consequences. That responsibility must never be taken lightly. Life places all of us on center stage. We must perform our best dance with professionalism, dignity, and a progressive attitude. Life is short, time can be unkind, and we must learn to adapt and roll with the punches without losing our direction. As a practical matter, every investigator should understand what I call the 5 Ps of the profession. Prior planning prevents poor performance. The 5 Ps may sound blunt, but the lesson is extremely important. You must prepare consciously and carefully for every assignment. For surveillance, this can mean carrying some cash and credit cards, maintaining a full tank of fuel, bringing a change of clothing, and having water and necessary personal supplies available. Your cameras should have charged batteries, sufficient memory cards, and proper accessories. Your cellular phone must be fully charged, and you should carry the necessary charging cables and backup power sources. You must review the assignment, know your lawful objectives, understand the location, check your equipment, and consider possible changes before beginning. Proper preparation is one of the strongest defenses against operational failure. Your spouse, partner, family, or significant other should also understand the demands of your career. Occasionally, plans will be interrupted. You might need to work late on a Saturday night, even though you had dinner or theater reservations. The profession can be unpredictable. That reality must be managed honestly and responsibly. Also, there are times that you will have to mentally prepare yourself because you might be subject to harsh personality disorders based upon the people who you meet and their unhinged values. There might be times that a subject may use foul, harsh language, sexual connotations, repulsive behavior, and sometimes even racial discriminatory language. You're going to have thick skin in this field and be able to ignore the unpleasantries that come with this industry. Private investigation is also founded upon secrecy and confidentiality. You will encounter cases that you cannot discuss with family members, friends, or the public. Information may be protected by law, contractual requirements, attorney-client considerations, or professional ethics. People will naturally ask about interesting cases, but an investigator must exercise discipline. Never disclose protected identities, names, addresses, locations, strategies, evidence, or private details without proper authorization. This profession is not about showboating. It is not about pretending to be more important than anyone else. Through experience, lawful resources, professional databases, technology, and trusted colleagues, you may develop the ability to locate people and uncover information concerning individuals, businesses, property, and organizations. That access creates responsibility, not superiority. You are becoming an information specialist, and information must be handled carefully, lawfully, and ethically. Investigators may also use what is sometimes called lawful constructive deception. This refers to the controlled use of a permissible pretext to obtain information without revealing the complete purpose of an investigation. For example, an investigator conducting lawful process service attempts may sometimes use an ordinary, non-threatening reason for approaching a location or asking a general question. An investigator conducting an inquiry may also avoid unnecessarily identifying the client or disclosing confidential objectives. However, constructive deception has strict boundaries. You must never impersonate a police officer, government official, medical professional, attorney, or another protected position. You must not manufacture legal authority, unlawfully enter private property, obtain protected records through fraud, make threats, or cause financial, physical, or emotional harm. The objective is to protect the integrity of a lawful investigation, not to violate another person's rights. Every technique must comply with federal law, state law, licensing regulations, professional ethics, and the specific circumstances of the assignment. When uncertain, stop and consult qualified legal counsel or your supervising agency. The professional investigator wears many hats. The occupation carries restrictions involving time, personal relationships, physical endurance, psychological pressure, and confidentiality. Nevertheless, the rewards can be monumental. Only a select number of people will truly develop the discipline, character, patience, judgment, and skill required to become outstanding investigators. It is a professional craft that must be practiced, respected, and continuously improved. I welcome you aboard this journey. As you progress through this course, I encourage you to remove the blinders, expand your awareness, and begin looking at life from a complete 360-degree perspective. You are about to explore the hidden side of human behavior and learn what it genuinely means to become a professional private investigator. Thank you for joining me, and welcome to the world of private investigations.
Welcome to the Investigative Training Institute.